So today has been a pretty interesting market for tech stocks, up, down, up, down. To be honest, I'm not sure where we're gonna end. But more importantly, it's been pretty interesting for the semiconductor industry as the Computex computer show is happening right now. So a lot of new products for semiconductor companies, especially AMD with their new processor. So in today's episode, we're gonna take a quick look at AMD. We're also gonna take a quick look at Qualcomm, two companies that I believe are some great holds right now. And more importantly, we are seeing kind of rumors of an acquisition with Broadcom and VMware. What does that mean for shareholders? Let's take a closer look. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for free Discord, my new channel, and a lot of great investing links. So let's get started. I do want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now. All right, so let's start off with AMD. Stock price right now is up about 0.5%. The market has been pretty crazy this whole year, and today's no different. Stocks started down, then they go up, then they go down. Now they are green. So hopefully we stay in this kind of green trend. From its 52-week high, AMD stock price is down roughly 42%. This is a company I owned, and I do believe at these share prices is one to really enjoy that dollar cost averaging mentality. So for those not familiar with AMD, today, early this morning, and I want to say early, around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, AMD made a keynote at Computex. So for those not familiar with Computex, this is an electronic kind of computer expo show that happens yearly, and it happens overseas. So obviously because of that, the big time difference. So on here on their Computex, AMD released some pretty cool products. So I want to say they didn't show too much information. This was more of like a preview of a trailer was to come. First, they did announce the AMD Ryzen 7000 series for desktop processors. So this is going to be based on their Zen 4 architecture, and it is going to be the world's first 5nm CPU. Just to keep kind of in track, Intel is still playing nice with their 10nm. So they haven't even reached the 7nm, and AMD, thanks to the likes of TSMC, are reaching the 5nm. The second thing that was pretty interesting is AMD is also expanding their mobile portfolio. They're kind of entering a little bit more into the more affordable laptops. These kind of processors are expected to go on laptops that are somewhere between $400 to $700. And this is going to be Metocino right now, and they are going to come to attractive brands. So pretty interesting there. So I do want to say the Computex, there was nothing revolutionary, right? Nothing that would really kind of increase huge revenues for AMD that it doesn't have already. This just kind of shows that AMD continues to innovate on the products that they have. So as a long term, I still believe AMD is still a strong and buy at these levels. Now let's take a closer look at Qualcomm. This is ticker QCOM. This is one that I recently started adding here in 2022, and we can see that pays a nice dividend yield of about 2.2%. And let me tell you, it's also growing at some impressive levels. So at the end of last week, Qualcomm introduced two products. First, they introduced the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 and the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1. So both of these are just kind of, I wouldn't say refresh and updates to their current products. Again, very similar to AMD. It's not something that would make me want to go buy the stock right now, but it just kind of shows that innovation in the company. One thing that I found pretty interesting though is that Qualcomm's new Snapdragon, the 8 Plus Gen 1, which is just a refresh, is being moved to being created by TSMC. And that is very interesting because it seems like previously they were being made by Samsung. So I just want to say, every time I keep hearing about TSMC, this company continues to be just a huge leader in this market. And normally when it comes to just a refresh or an upgrade, you normally don't see them shifting out of foundries. It's usually during a new generation. So if things were bad, normally what would happen is Qualcomm maybe on the next generation of Snapdragon, they would change foundries. But usually you don't see it midway. They do mention that the real shocker with these upgrades is that there is a 30% improvement in power efficiency. The report does mention that this power efficiency just alone comes from the change of foundries. Again, just continues to show how much of a powerhouse TSMC is. And even though this wasn't a TSMC episode, I do want to say that's another stock that I think is very attractive at these price points. Another thing about Qualcomm is they really are providing a lot of nice solutions for the metaverse. And the metaverse seems crazy, but in reality, it's just more in augmented reality and virtual virtual reality. Their chips are used to kind of power these kind of reference design for companies that might want to develop AR glasses. So this is pretty cool. It just kind of overall shows how Snapdragon and their XR chipsets are also pretty cool for the overall market. All right, so next let's take a quick look at Broadcom and VMware, as there are rumors right now that there is an acquisition in place. Unfortunately, right now there is no concrete data, but reports say that we can see an actual report sometime Thursday or later this week. So AVGO right now, or Broadcom, after hearing those news, the stock price is down about 2.6%. VMware is actually super excited right now and is up over 21%. So Broadcom is a very big player in the semiconductor industry. They offer products that serve the data centers, networking, software, broadband, wireless, and storage, and industrial markets. For those not familiar with VMware, this is more of like a cloud computing company, pretty much used by a lot of the cloud providers from AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and all those other big players. So this, I believe, just continues to show how semiconductor companies are not just focused on being a hardware company anymore. They want to have hardware, but they're also kind of want to focus in some form of software solutions. The other thing it tells me is, hey, the cloud data market is very, very important right now for big companies, and that's why they're trying to increase their overall solutions in that market. So Broadcom is not one I follow closely, but if you guys let me know in the comments below and want me to do more of a deep dive on it, I would definitely do so. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and make sure to check out my new channel where I just pretty much talk about tech news. So stay tuned.